Good afternoon. I'm Fabien Lepenec, and I'm a third-year PhD student at M2NP Laboratory in France. First, I would like to thank the organization committee for giving me the opportunity to present my work on the screen printing Ba2O3 for CO2 gas sensor. I'm working in the microsensor and instrumentation team at M2NP Laboratory in Marseille in France. My research are focused on the CO2 gas sensors and more particularly how to develop a MOX sensor for the CO2 detection holder. Here is the outline of this talk. Firstly, we will see the state of the art, focus on the CO2 gas sensor and the material chosen. Then, I will introduce the characterization method and expose the results. I will finish the talk by a conclusion and some perspective. You may be wondering what is the interest of the CO2 sensing and why we need to detect it. The carbon dioxide, the CO2, is a molecule with a high thermal stability, odorless, and colorless behavior. We evaluate its average concentration in holder air approximately to 400 ppm. However, the greenhouse effect and consequently the global warming, one of the results from increasing CO2 level, need to monitoring the CO2 concentration in odor air. Furthermore, the monitoring of the CO2 in the indoor air is a significant issue due to its relationship to air quality. You can see in the lower part the influence of the CO2 on the human body, where around 0.3% of CO2 will see the first symptoms, and above 10%, strong repercussions on the body are felt. We can find various kinds of CO2 sensors following their phenomena detection. The most used CO2 sensors are based on infrared detection. They have a high selectivity and high performance for CO2 sensing. But their drawbacks are an expensive cost, an incompressible size, and a high power consumption. So due to a growing need of CO2 sensors for air monitoring, and moreover to respond to the drawbacks of the CO2 analyzers based on infrared detection, the sensor based on metal oxide, say MOX, can answer to this request due to a high sensitivity, a low cost, a microscopic size, and a low electrical consumption. Let's move to the operating principle of MOX microsensors. So how a MOX sensor works? The picture at the top left presents the different components of a MOX sensor. Thus, an interaction occurs between the gas and the sensitive layer thanks to an energy supply based on a thermal type. This interaction is possible because the metal oxide behaves like a semiconductor when it is heated. Hence, the measured electrodes resting on the silicon-silica substrate detect a charge transfer in the sensitive layer when the sensor is exposed to the target gas. This charge transfer is translated by a resistance variation and measured by our data acquisition system in function of the CO2 concentration. For instance, the curve at the bottom left represents a response of oxidizing gas interacting on a N-type semiconductor. We are using several N-type semiconductors in our group as a gas sensor listed on the bottom right. Among the set of the MOX used as a CO2 sensor, the table here presents some materials based on a Ba2O3. Many studies introduce it with a good sensitivity at a high temperature, but few authors mention pure Ba2O3. We have decided to begin with a pure Ba2O3, and today we'll present you our results about CO2 detection based on a pure Ba2O3. Another point is that the literature agrees that the CO2 are an oxidizing gas, with the Ba2O3 corresponding to an N-type semiconductor. In order to validate the material to process the sensitive layer, we have used the screen printing as the deposit method. Like that, it is quick and easy to deposit the BaO2-free paste. The paste is a mixture of a BaO2-free nanopowder from Sigma Aldrich and glycerol. Then we heated the sensor to 450 degrees Celsius during 3 minutes on a plate. The resulting thickness is around 7 micrometers. Furthermore, a XRD diffractogram have been proceeded to check the material and its phase. The diffractogram presented on this slide has a measurement range in 2 theta achieved between 20 and 65 degrees. The set of the peaks presents the phase of BaO2-free as the tetragonal phase. Let's see the electrical sensor characterization. To evaluate the performance of our sensor to CO2 exposure, we use an automated bench to control the dilution gas and the sensor environment. Thus, the test bench allows an exposure of 3 gases monitored by mass flow controllers. A humidification system generates a variable humidity 0 to 90%. The sensor is placed inside a hermetic chamber on a hot plate, which can be heated up to 310 degrees Celsius. This same chamber is placed inside a thermostatic chamber to control the outside environment of the sensor chamber. Overall, the gas control and the data acquisition are operating by a computer and a source measure unit instrument. The first experimentation allows to assert that the CO2 are an oxidizing gas and BaO2-free are N-type semiconductor. The curve on the slide reveals an increasing response in resistance in function of the time for 1000 ppm of CO2 during 5 minutes. The exposure have been achieved at 50% relative humidity. This humidity value is based on the standard values used by manufacturers. Accordingly to the increasing duration of evolution of the curve, that confirms the literature about the gas and sensitive layer behavior. The graphic shows the influence of the operating temperature on the normalized resistance with a fixed relative humidity at 50%, where R is the resistance of the sensor during an air exposure and R gas is the resistance of the sensor during an air exposure with CO2. The concentration rate of the exposures are 1000 ppm during 5 minutes. Note that the response moves up with the temperature, but to a good compromise between a recorded signal and the heater electrical consumption, we fix the temperature of 280 degrees Celsius to the other electric characterization. The sensors were also tested to a measured range of CO2 concentration from 100 ppm to 5000 ppm during 5 minutes and 50% relative humidity. We present here two curves. The top one shows the resistance peaks in function of the time, and the bottom one shows the normalized resistance in function of the CO2 concentration. The second curve represents a resistance response increasing according to a power equation. The repeatability behavior has been tested for 1500 ppm during 5 minutes at 280 degrees and 50% relative humidity. The curve here presents the response peaks in resistance with normalized resistance values. The repeatability behavior is good with a good response to CO2. A study on the humidity influence on the response at 280 degrees Celsius is presented here. For 3 levels of relative humidities, 20%, 50%, and 70%, 5 exposures from 100 to 5000 ppm to CO2 have been achieved. We notice that the resistance response increases inversely to humidity. The insight compares the response to 2000 ppm of CO2 for 3 relative humidity rates. Let me summarize my presentation.
On the right side, the graphs present the significant results about BrTO3 as a CO2 sensor. To sum up, in conclusion, we have determined the operating temperature, 280 degrees Celsius, and the relative humidity influence. We developed a sensor based on BrTO3 with a high sensitivity to CO2 and respond as a N-type for oxidizing gas. We notice a repeatability behavior for CO2 concentration equals to 1500 ppm. In perspective, we would like to study several depositing methods of BrTO3 to enhance the aging of the sensor and the BrTO3 composite films. I would like to thank my colleagues for their participation in this study work, the Associate Professor Sandrine Bernardini and Professor Marc Bendaron for the supervision and the review and the editing, Dr. Karim Perrine Ligolino for the XRD measurements and data analysis and her experience, Professor Khalifa Aguirre for the review and the editing. I hope you enjoy this talk, and I will be happy to answer your questions if you have some. Have a good day.
Thank you for your attention.